As we watch this unfold in real time, something you notice immediately is just how quickly the Secret Service agents jumped into action.
Yeah, we want to bring in our Simone Diablo now, who has been working her sources all night and joins us now in the studio with more on what we saw playing out on stage and behind the scenes. Simone.
That's right, guys. Leslie, Lorenzo, I spoke with Jeff James, a retired Secret Service agent here in D.C. He had some insight on the shooting today, and he talks about what he observed and gives us his take on how the Secret Service handled this situation.
Take a look at what happened.
You hear them, you hear the gunshots ring out, and then you see Donald Trump drop to the ground. You then immediately see the Secret Service swarm around him. And so I'm curious, from your background, from your training, did they handle that correctly?
The only criticism I would have is when the president stood up and was allowed to stand there and raise his fist in the air. I would have liked to have seen that detail of agents whisk him off the stage a little bit faster. And I wish they would have done that just a little quickly, because you don't know. It could have been a coordinated attack. There could have been 4 more shooters. And now you have the president standing up, raising his fist in the air, his head's exposed.
With something like this, like a campaign trail, a rally, things like that, are you trained to look for specific things, specific threats in a crowd this size?
It's tough. You know, it's a sea of colors. It's a sea of phones being held up over people's heads. And it's just a sea of movement. But what you're trained to look for are anything that's out of place. So like today in Butler, Pennsylvania, it was 90 degrees. If there's someone in there wearing a heavy coat, that's going to pop out to you. And then you're looking for that quick movement, that quick hand up over the crowd that comes up with a weapon, or that hand that's going to suddenly throw something.
I mean, this is the worst case scenario by any regard, yes?
It really is. You know, had that person had a little bit better aim, or the person next to them not bump their arm, and that bullet had been 3 inches to the shooter's right, we'd be talking about a dead former president right now. And that's something the Secret Service takes very seriously. What you're going to see now is they're going to secure the crime scene. They're going to interview everybody who was around. They're going to gather as much evidence as they can. Given your background, your 22 years of service, did watching this clip unfold today at the rally, did it just send a chill down your spine? It's huge. This is the first legitimate attempt on the life of the president since the attack on President Reagan by John Hinckley. So decades since we've seen this happen. And I would pay attention. I think it's sad that someone saw this as a solution. From a logistical standpoint, I wanted to walk you through this because James was telling me they did a lot of things right, the Secret Service. So when you see them huddle around Trump, you see them putting their hands up to protect his head. He's quite tall, and then escort him into the car. He said they performed that flawlessly. I did want to note, on an emotional level, James said that, look, he wished he would have been there. As a retired agent, he was talking about that feeling of wanting to protect the president, that feeling of wanting to be the man in action serving. It never quite leaves you. And I can't underscore the magnitude of the moment, as we all know, and as a former Secret Service agent, he really drove that home.
Yeah, you often hear that from some of those former agents, whether it was for President Reagan, President Kennedy, when they had moments like these, you know, it just sticks with you forever. This is what they worked so hard to try and prevent.
And this was, of course, the nightmare scenario, right?
Absolutely.
The one thing that you are afraid of, that you can't protect the most important person that needs to be protected in that moment.
Exactly.
All right, Simone, thank you.